Hi, Judy Copenbarger here. Today I'd like to offer you a gift of perspective. And this perspective is a way for you to think about your finances in a visual way. And the visual is a greenhouse. So let's talk about this greenhouse and what does a greenhouse have to do with your money? Well, I'm from Colorado, and in Colorado, every house that we ever lived in had a greenhouse attached to it. In our greenhouse, we had our chickens, we had our crops, we had our firewood, we had our goat Betsy, that was my job to milk her a couple of times a day. But if you think about it, living up in the mountains at almost 10,000 feet elevation, right in the middle of the Rockies, we needed a place for protection. And the greenhouse offered that structure of protection. It kept out the bad weather, it kept out the storms, it kept out the bugs, it kept out the deer, and even the bears that came to town. So if you think about your finances this way, if you think about your finances in terms of a protective structure, the greenhouse in which you grow your garden, I think it'll bring a perspective that might really help you avoid some bad decisions out there. So let's talk about the greenhouse first, this protective structure in which you grow your garden. There are things that you do every day, decisions that you make every day about your finances that are protective in nature. There are areas of finance that are, by their nature, protective. So when you're thinking about legal documents like a power of attorney, a trust, a will, your entities like LLCs and S Corps and C Corps, all those legal documents offer protection of some kind for your assets. You can think about insurances. You protect your car with insurance, you protect your home with insurance, you have liability insurance in case something bad happens and somebody gets hurt. You insure your business, you insure your life, you insure your health. And the deal with insurance is it's a way to make sure that you don't have to bear a cost that would be unaffordable and it might take you down. So insurance and legal are two definite areas of greenhouse protection. Those are things that you do, activities that you engage in that protect the money and the wealth that you're accumulating along the way. So let's talk about what your garden in the greenhouse is represented by. That would be things like cash flows, cash reserves, your bank accounts, your retirement programs, your house, your business interests, and things like that. All of your assets. Those things are your garden. These are the things that we need to grow to create the wealth that makes your life work. Takes care of you, takes care of your family. It can provide gifting and legacy, ultimately. So when you think about your greenhouse, you want to make sure it's right sized at all times. And as we know, the garden's going to grow. Your assets are going to change, your family's going to change, your goals and your circumstances are going to change. So when that happens, how will you know that your greenhouse protection is still appropriate for the size garden that you have? One example of this not working is you start out and you have maybe a condo, a little starter love nest, little home, and you're just starting to contribute to your deferred comp program at work or your 401k. You haven't accumulated a lot of wealth yet, but you need a little bit of protection. Along comes a baby or two, you're going to need something like a will, you're going to need a little bit of life insurance, you need a little bit of protection for your little garden. But then life goes on, you end up buying a bigger house, you gain equity, your business begins to grow, you accumulate more money in your retirement programs. Now, in your greenhouse, the growth is happening, and that's a good thing. But what happens when the garden starts to grow outside the windows and outside the doors and the roof starts to go off because your garden's growing? It's outgrown the protection of your protective structure. When that happens, it's time to add more protection. So your doghouse-sized greenhouse needs to grow. It doesn't have to be a titanium hanger for a 747, but it needs to grow appropriately as you increase your wealth and grow your garden. Now, the other thing that can happen is you have too much protection. This is when you have the titanium 747 hanger and you don't need it for what you have. You have been sold too much insurance, you have bought into too much legal documents and you're paying so much money to manage what you have, it's inappropriate. And those dollars and that time could be going towards something much more meaningful in your life, toward goals that you really care about. So you want to make sure that you have an appropriate size greenhouse for your right size garden at all times. So how do you keep your greenhouse the right size, appropriate to your garden? And the answer is just ongoing planning. Always check in to make sure that the protection is right for what you've grown. If there's been a change in your life, if there's been one of those life events, you've gotten married, you've gotten unmarried, you've added to your family, you've reduced your family, you've moved, changed careers, gone back to school, any of these life events will change the course of your greenhouse. The plants are changing. The size of the plants are changing. Maybe it's a different season for you. When that happens, you want to know. And the best way to know is to just keep current with your planning. At least once a year, I know you've got stuff all over your dining room table at tax time. So when that happens, just put on your calendar a half a day or a day. Every year, same time, like you get all your medical things done the same time every year, do it with your checkup for your garden, for your finances. When you have all those things out, look at your finances. If you don't feel like you have enough savvy to determine if you need a bigger greenhouse or if it's too big, talk to a financial professional. So if you're serious about this and you're ready to keep that greenhouse green and growing well, go to judycopenbarger.com/truth and you'll find an amazing source of information there with templates and worksheets to make sure that your greenhouse is right for your garden. Isn't this good? I know you love this. And there is so much more for you. You can subscribe here to learn so much more. And I want you to like this video, thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. It's Judy Copenbarger. Have a great day.